Ole Penn Real Estate is the sponsor of our weekly Athlete of the Week, and I can't tell you how happy I am that we're actually picking athletes that are currently doing stuff instead of having to dig through the archives to find what maybe happened with old timers. But not that wasn't interesting, but it was a lot harder. So this week...
Sometimes it wasn't interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. This week, I feel like not only does the performance is worth it, I think, but it also the gravity of the situation, I think, really solidifies it for this player. So our Athlete of the Week.
The team of realtors at Ole Penn Real Estate wish you and your family good health during this stay home, stay safe time. Their team has health and safety measures in place to protect you and everyone involved in the process. If you're thinking about selling your home, now is a great time. There are more buyers than available homes. Many homes are still receiving multiple offers and are selling for above asking price. Ole Penn Real Estate will help you put the most money possible in your pocket in less time without the hassle. Visit sellmyharborhome.com to get your home market ready. The Ole Penn team is ready to work for you.
Is Aberdeen's Jeremy Sawyer. Now, Jeremy had 27 carries for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a 32-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter that opened the scoring, and he also had a 2-yard game-winning touchdown run with 25 seconds left. 27 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great performance for this kid. He ran so hard, and Justin... What brings the more weight to it is that game-winning touchdown run for their first win of the season, and also this is the first 2 touchdowns they've scored this year.
And because they didn't convert on the extra points, it means he's literally the only Aberdeen Bobcat who scored any points. I think with Jeremy in this situation too, like the fact that, man, this kid's only a sophomore. You know, watching him run was really impressive. I think because, and this is, Daniel, something we talked about on the broadcast a little bit, I have a kid in the same age range, so I've sort of been watching Jeremy run through grade school and even through parts of junior high, and he's always been he's a speed guy. You know, he was always looking to try to get to the sideline, and he was really good in grade school and super fast and scored a lot of touchdowns, but he wasn't the kind of runner he is now. He has great vision. He is quick on his cuts. He's decisive, he's explosive, and he's strong. I mean, if we are not sophisticated enough to have yards after contact, but if we had yards after contact or average yards after contact on Jeremy in this game, I think it would make the performance even more impressive. To me, he was incredible.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially on that 32/37-yard touchdown run, he broke at least 2 tackles.
Yeah.
One was probably after about 6 yards, and the other one was like a shoestring tackle attempt that he broke out of and then ran for another about 10 to 15 yards to get in the end zone. But he used his speed at the end to get to the sideline and break some of those big runs, but it was the power and that strength and the mental part of like knowing he's going to have to run through stuff that really impressed me.
Yeah, just like you're saying, kind of taking the yards that you know are in front of you. Like, instead of trying to dance around to the outside and try to find something that might be bigger, just the decisiveness in his running game and the strength with which he ran was incredibly impressive to me.
And we have an inside guy on this too, because Andrew is he helps out with the Aberdeen football program. So Andrew, give us a little bit more insight. What is it like to be around Jeremy? What is he like at practice? Is he someone who works really hard there too?
Absolutely. Jeremy was actually also on the 8th grade team that I helped coach to an undefeated season a few years ago, and Jeremy he does work really hard. I think he's always, like Justin was saying, he's always been fast, and he in the past he's trusted his speed to get him out of every situation. And I think that the big development that I've noticed in him this year is he's taking cutback routes, and his vision has gotten so much better that he's taking yards that aren't in the play as it's called consistently. Like he's consistently finding the gaps that are opening up, even though the called play may be to the outside edge. When the gaps open up because the linebackers take the wrong the wrong guy or there's an extra good block, he's been able to make yards on that, and that's I think that's been the big development that he's made.
Absolutely. So Jeremy Sawyer, our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week. Well done. I mean, it was such a fun game to watch. I know it wasn't too much offense in the first 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter alone made up for all of the different blowouts that I've covered this year. And it was so awesome to see that and the way that they battled back, because they take let's just talk about that Aberdeen game now. We'll shift into that. That Aberdeen game, they score a touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter is when he runs for that touchdown. And then the way their defense was playing, we're like, all right, they got it. And they even came up with a goal line stand after that, and that was kind of the big scare. And then they shift the field again, and they get Rochester pinned back deep, and then they sack the quarterback, and it's 3rd and 19, and there's only like 4 minutes left, and we're like, all right, they got this. And then a great player made a great play as the quarterback avoided the rush in the backfield, stepped up, bombed a gorgeous pass. Their best player, Talon Betts, caught it and ran 95 yards, and we found out why he was their best player there, because he had kind of been stifled the whole night, but just blazing speed down the sideline for a 95-yard touchdown run or catch. Then they kick the extra point and they take the lead 7-6, and it was just so deflating. Like, oh, this can't be happening. Like, they've played such a good game to lose on something like that, just kind of a fluke play that goes down the sideline. And yet they battle back. And not only Jeremy, but I was also really impressed with, I mean, Conor Sherman played very well, I think, too. But the other kid that really impressed me carrying the ball was Trey Anderson, another sophomore. I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, Trey Anderson, 8 carries for 77 yards. That was another one where it seemed like every time he got the ball, he was breaking at least one tackle. He's really good low center of gravity. He's really slippery. I think that's the best way I could describe it. And then you also mentioned Conor Sherman, who had 6 carries for 50 yards, and they were running him a few times on these trap plays. So Aberdeen's offense is all based on misdirection. You have often 2 or 3 guys moving in all different directions in the backfield, and it's the defense's task to try to figure out which one of them has the ball. And you do so much of these jet sweeps and these dives and these off-tackle runs that every once in a while you have a really slow developing trap play, and a lot of times that was Conor Sherman who was doing that. And he was making really nice runs off of those trap plays, and it was really impressive. So I think, Jeremy had a really good game. Trey Anderson ran really well. Conor Sherman ran really well. We saw a little bit more of him in the first half, but Liam Heikala was looking really strong with the ball. He also made some great plays on defense in the game.
Yeah, it was senior night, so I do want to bring that up really quickly, because we did see, as much as people talk about the young talent of this Aberdeen team, it was really cool to see the seniors really step up in this game.
Especially on the defensive line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Liam Heikala, you mentioned he played well, ran well as a fullback, but he also played a great linebacker.
Yeah.
And then the defensive line, as far as I could tell at times, was just filled with seniors. I mean, they had Titus Murrow playing defensive end. They had Austin Neely, who played a great defensive end. Seth Brown played great as a defensive lineman as well. And Garrett Springer, he's 5'6", 175 pounds, came in to play nose tackle and made plays. Like, I was recognizing him making plays often in this game. Like, at 5'6", 175 pounds, not what you think of as a defensive lineman, but he got in there and scrapped it up. So those 4 guys, especially on the defensive line, 4 seniors, I was super impressed with the whole game.
I mean, I thought for sure, like you said, Daniel, we talked a lot about the youth on this team. They have freshmen like Jacob Bowers, for example, who were stepping up and making plays. We saw Jabron in there a few times as well on the defensive line.
Hard not to see Jabron.
Good point, yeah. But you had all these young players, and you can see the young players having an impact. But especially when it was the defensive side of the ball, we were calling Neely and Brown off the defensive ends constantly. We're calling their names constantly because they were in the backfield the whole game. I mean, we talked a lot there about how Aberdeen's rushing attack was really effective. And it's true, it was. But their defense for 3 quarters held off this Rochester team where you mentioned Betts was their best player. Well, I was told Betts had 200 rushing yards against Centralia and almost 400 all-purpose yards if you include kick and punt returns the previous week. So this was a guy that going into it, we're thinking, man, this is a really explosive guy. We're just waiting for him to break big plays. As the game went on, it was like, okay, well, they've really bottled him up, and they did bottle him up on the ground. When Betts caught that long ball, and it was obvious nobody was going to catch him, I was thinking, man, how did this guy not kill you the whole game? So what the defense did in containing him, being aware of where he was all the time and make sure that they swarmed to the ball, to me, through 3 quarters, that was the thing that helped Aberdeen stay in this game for sure.
Also, Jeremy Roberts had an interception. Another senior, Enrique Edmondson, had, I believe, he was playing well all night too on defense, but I think he recovered the onside kick.
He was the guy who recovered the onside kick to start the game. Yeah.
So that was awesome too. So, I mean, that was cool to see a lot of the seniors really step up in that game too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a team that has a bright future, that has a lot of young talent, but absolutely, I mean, they don't win that game without the contributions from the seniors, that's for sure.
And Eli Brown, who's kind of been dealing with some injuries, punted the ball very well.
Yeah.
And then
played some quarterback too.
Came in and played quarterback on that final drive.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he threw the ball much on that drive, but it was the running game that really worked for him and got it down there. But just to be able to come in and lead that drive as well. So it was a fun game. It was a really fun game to watch.
It was interesting that we watched a game for 3 quarters that was 0-0, and it was just exciting. Like, it never felt boring. It never felt flat. It was just a really exciting game that was just full of guys making plays.
Let's move on, though. We also saw Montesano take down La Center, and we were billing this as like the Southwest Washington Championship game, the District 4 title game, which really is what it looked like. I mean, La Center is a really good team, and Montesano went down there and made them look not good.
Yeah, Trace Ridgway, maybe the athlete of the week snub. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
We agonized over this decision a bit, but he carried the ball 22 times for 182 yards.
Dang.
And 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's definitely getting snubbed.
Yeah,
sorry, Trace.
He also was 8 for 11 passing with 79 yards and a touchdown pass to Christian Prawl. So
yeah, this might be the biggest snub of the year.
But we made this decision in part because, I mean, this was a huge game for Montesano. Like, we called it the Southwest District Championship game. For Aberdeen, that was the first win of the season for a struggling program that hadn't scored a touchdown. And I just felt like, this was a toss-up to me. We could have gone either way.
Yeah, I'm with you. Absolutely.
Sorry,
a toss-up.
Trace.
Sorry, Trace.
Sorry, Trace.
I'm not. Go Cats.
Moving on to some of the other sports, cross country. She didn't take super first, so
yeah, sorry, Valerie.
Yeah,
this is really hard. This is getting really hard to choose the athlete of the week.
It is. Hoquiam's Valerie Roloff won again, and Timmy Higgins took first, as well as that cross country matchup against Elma. So Hoquiam went. They got a win on both sides of that.
And that's been happening a lot.
Yeah, it has.
And I feel like we've been apologizing to Valerie Roloff every week because it's like, Valerie, we want to give you the athlete of the week, but we need you to take super first. Can you take super first instead of first, because she's won every week? So if you have any players that you'd like recognized either in this roundup or as athlete of the week, if you have a nomination, please let us know. You can either email us, thescrimmage@gmail.com, or you can get us on Facebook, The Scrimmage. You can get us on Twitter @The Scrimmage. We're also on Instagram. There's lots of ways you can get a hold of us. We love getting nominations for athlete of the week, but also it's really difficult, especially since we can't go to most of these events. Please let us know what happened. Like, let us know what kids did what and who's achieving, who's working hard. We love to hear from you and just get something we can insert in the program, because I know Daniel and I have a great passion for recognizing these kids for their hard work and for their achievements. So we would love to hear from people on this.
Absolutely. And again, our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week is Jeremy Sawyer for his great performance against Rochester on Saturday night.
Sorry, Valerie.
Yeah. But
congrats, Jeremy.